A seasoned international banker, Sanjeeb Chaudhuri was appointed as the regional head South Asia and Group CMO for consumer banking at Standard Chartered Bank in 2011. A man who enjoys a stellar reputation in the banking community for driving change, innovation and delivering strong top line and bottom line results. Tara Kapoor caught up with Sanjeeb Chaudhuri and spoke about how a bank stays competitive in a very fast-changing virtual world. Take it away.
First of all, Sanjeeb, it's a pleasure to have you on Brand Equity. Just wanted to first focus on, as somebody who's worked in the banking sector and the marketing domain for such a long time, if you could tell us some of the key challenges you're seeing in today's world in terms of marketing and tackling the changing consumer.
Absolutely. The first and very, logical example that comes to mind is the movement of consumers to online banking. Today, for example, at Standard Chartered, we have almost over 1/3 of our customers who bank with us online. They are very happy to do it. They do it because it is convenient, it is a 24/7 medium, and it is fast, and it is free. So to that extent, that is a big trend that's happening. Allied to this trend is the trend towards mobile banking. More and more of our customers are now accessing us, not just through online banking at their desktop or iPad, but also on their mobile phones. So that is something, again, we are seeing as an increasing consumer trend. And in some of the more developed markets, almost 100% of the customers are really using mobile banking as a platform. So these are two very big trends, mega trends if you like, which is happening in consumers' usage of banking services, which also results in, as a marketing person, I can tell you a very virtuous thing that's happening, that consumers are interacting with their banks much more intimately and more frequently than they did in the past.
You had talked about making the system much faster, much more digital, etc. If you could give us some examples of that.
For example, what we did is, we did a lot of experiments to understand with consumers what are the basic products and services they really want from an online or a mobile channel. And when we developed that format of our online banking architecture or our mobile banking architecture, we built it in such a way that those capabilities come up first. So, for example, we knew consumers want to move money as one of the first things they want to do after knowing their balance. So the sequencing of the screens has been done in a very user-friendly manner, which in marketing language is being consumer-friendly, which we all know we should be doing anyway. But this is using the technology to be much more consumer-friendly. Result is, we find many more consumers who just want to know their balance, go onto their mobile banking interface, know the balance and log off in seconds. The other examples I can talk about is consumers who want to apply, say, for a credit card. Now, in the past, you would apply, wait for a decision in days for you to know whether you are even going to get a card, even before you have submitted your documents. We created a capability in Standard Chartered called Approval in Principle, where based on the information that you provide to us, within seconds, we can check all the background data and the algorithms that we have and give you an approval in principle that, subject to your giving us these documents, your application is approved. Now that is a big deal for the customer, because he can then say, okay, I'll take another 3 days to get those documents, but during that time I know I'm going to get a card from this bank.
I'd like you to critically analyze advertising in the financial sector in India, in terms of whether you see most brands doing the same format, being repetitive.
I think from a communication point of view, if I were to just look at advertising as a subset of all the marketing activity that's happening, I think while the quantum of advertising has increased materially, I think a lot of the advertising is still focused on managing price. Sure. Now, price is one of the elements of the marketing mix, not the only element. I think what we have to be doing more as an industry is to promote value. What is the value of a product or service from a banking organization for the consumer? And I think increasingly consumers will understand, they already do, the value of a relationship of being a consumer of a Standard Chartered versus another bank, and that relationship value being given greater importance than just a price point comparison on a loan or a deposit. So I think directionally that is the way the industry has to move in.
Sanjeeb, earlier this year, I think Standard Chartered had launched its first India-specific commercial, which we haven't seen many global banks doing in India as well. So, I wanted to discuss the strategy behind launching a India-specific campaign, and what are Standard Chartered's plans, obviously, then in the Indian market.
Sure. No, I think that's a very, you've picked up a very interesting thing that we did earlier this year. Essentially what we said is that, following on from the earlier conversation I had, on the consumer being more important than just the products that we sell, we said that for our preferred banking proposition from Standard Chartered, we wanted to give the consumer a whole bouquet of benefits from the relationship. And we said the best way to package that together would be in an advertising campaign which doesn't talk of any one product but gives value to the relationship. We also realized that obviously the components of that packaging will be different in different markets. So as a global head of marketing, I realize that the components of that package in Hong Kong will by definition be different from India, and yet the basic brand positioning of Here for Good has to remain constant for Standard Chartered globally. So we created the campaign in Hindi because we felt that it was relevant to a large part of our target market in addition to English. We ran it not just in mass media, in television and radio and print, but also in online, in social. And I think the 360 nature of the campaign, along with activities we did in and around our branches, really gave us a very good result.
Are we going to see this kind of localization happening in other markets with Standard Chartered?
Yes.
And how is that panning out?
Our strategy is really to think global and act local. So basically what we have is, Here for Good is our global brand position. That position is fantastic. Consumers love it. We have tested it, researched it. Within that, what we allow markets to do is to localize the themes around which they want to promote their product, because it is also a function of the business cycle that the particular country is in. So where India is in today is different from where Africa is or where Hong Kong is. It so happens that sometimes we do it in tandem around the world, sometimes we do it in India first and take it in different parts of the world. A great example I'll give you of an innovation we have launched in India first. It's not yet come to any other part of the world, including developed markets like Hong Kong and Singapore, is this portal, which we call a cards rewards portal, where all the bonus points that you have got on your credit cards, you can actually go onto this portal, check how much you have, check a whole host of merchandise that you can buy with those points, and actually place the order, and actually get the fulfillment of that order happening online. So you don't have to wait for a brochure to come to you or mail it to you. You don't have to call up somebody saying, please take the order to deliver this voucher to me. No more. You are in control as a consumer. The portal is there. Browse from almost 250 products that are available in the online catalog. Decide what you want, how many points are needed. If you have enough points, great. It will be deducted from your purchase and you get it. If you have less points, you can pay cash to pay the difference. It works like magic. So that is the kind of thing where India is at the forefront of some of the innovations that we are doing in the digital space.
Thank you so much, Sanjeeb.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.